Everyone's life is a story. I'm a story, and so are you. And we can learn something from each story, no matter how small the story is. But not everybody has a Wikipedia page of their own, so I'm here to tell you about a guy who changed the phone industry by bringing something that we use daily on a mobile device. Born in New York, went to Yale for a degree in history. After Yale, he went to motorcycle mechanic school. Ivy School to mechanics? Wow! Imagine a guy doing this in India. For Indian parents, it would be like from IITs to a mechanic shop, career over. It doesn't stop here. Things get even more crazier. He moved to Japan and had three-part plan for going to Japan. Number one, portfolio of his own, mostly photography. Number two, get some teaching experience, so taught English. Number three, he was chasing a girl, seriously, who later became his wife. You might be thinking, what makes this person so interesting that I'm talking about him? Well, this man is Ken Kocienda. Ring a bell? No? Let us search about him on Google. Wait, what? The moment I tapped on the search box, something appeared. Yes, he designed this something called keyboard for the original iPhone. So what's the big deal? To understand this, we might have to dig deeper into the history.
What's wrong with their user interfaces? Well, the problem with them is really sort of in the bottom 40 there. It's this stuff right here. They all have these keyboards that are there whether you need them or not to be there. And they all have these control buttons that are fixed in plastic and are the same for every application. Well, every application wants a slightly different user interface, a slightly optimized set of buttons just for it. And what happens if you think of a great idea 6 months from now? You can't run around and add a button to these things, they're already shipped.
Keyboard was the core vision of the iPhone. As the keyboard shouldn't be there forever, it has to be something that only appears when needed. After all, if the keyboard wasn't best in software, Apple couldn't have delivered on Steve Jobs' vision of breakthrough touchscreen computer with as few fixed buttons as possible. The keyboard has to get out of the way when it wasn't needed so the rest of the apps on the phone could shine. Still, what's the big deal of it? Simply put the rectangular box and throw all the keys as it is on a regular keyboard, right? Let's dig deeper. First, let me tell you a story of the icons of the apps that appear on the home screen. Those icons were 57 by 57 in size on the original iPhone. It didn't happen because of a coincidence. This number, that is 57 pixels in length and 57 pixels in breadth. An engineer at Apple designed a game where rectangles with different sizes would appear on the screen, and the player has to tap on the rectangle, and at the end of the game, the player will be given their score. It was observed that 57 pixels in length and 57 pixels in breadth size is the ideal size that the person can hit without any issue when trying to hit faster on the display. This is how they came up with 57 pixels in length and 57 pixels in width icon size that everyone could hit while trying to hit faster. Can you imagine how much they cared for their iPhone? But you look at the keyboard of the original iPhone, the size of the keys were not 57 by 57. It was way lesser and was a huge problem. How big of a problem? Well, while the development of the iPhone, the software keyboard was lagging behind all of the developments. So every software engineers were asked to stop it all. Calendars, phone app, user interface software, stop it all and build a keyboard. You all are keyboard engineers now. The idea behind that was if we don't crack the problem, we might not have the product. They had to compete with BlackBerry keyboard, which were the best in its class. And mind you, it was a physical keyboard while Apple was building a software-based keyboard. The idea behind this was that we need keyboard some of the time and not all the time, so we cannot ship with physical keyboard, it has to go. Challenge was that we can know for sure we are hitting the target if the target we are hitting with our finger is bigger than our fingertips. But if the target is smaller than our fingertips, then it's difficult to tell. On the BlackBerry, it was a physical keyboard which one could recognize as it has edges in it. Also, you had to provide enough keys to give the typing experience, and for that to happen, the keys need to be smaller than your fingertips. So what was the unique solution that Ken Kocienda provided? Well, AI-based keyboard. While you typed a letter, let's say T, the software will predict what the next key may be, let's say H, and will increase the area of the key so that you will have larger area as target to hit. The moment you hit that key H, in this case the software will again predict the next key you're gonna hit, maybe E, and will increase that key's area so that you will be able to hit that key next. What a unique solution it was, and it made typing on the iPhone an amazing experience at that time. He didn't stop there. He was the person responsible for bringing Safari, the web browser for the Mac, to the iPhone. He came up with the idea of loop, that is, you touch and hold the screen and you would get that magnifying effect so you can insert cursor at the specific location you want. He came up with the idea of 5-finger pinch to go to home screen in iPad. He also came with the idea that when you swipe from left to right to move from one app to another, and when the list ends, then the rubber band effect animation plays, just like this. He joined the project for software effort for iPhone, which only had 6 to 8 members in it, a very small team. He gave autocorrect to the iPhone. What a great problem solver he is. He published a book, Creative Selection. If you didn't like this video, you know what to do. And if you really like this video and want this channel to grow, then smash that subscribe button. That's there. Don't forget that red button and do share.